Welcome back to another episode of Punky's World. Right now I'm feeling festive. It's Christmas time. I'm trying to get one more video in before the year is over. So here we go. Right here I picked up this Amish-style unit. Not Amish, but there was those things on QVC where the Amish built a bunch of these units where they actually make fire. It's got controls here so that way you can get the heat that comes out of this thing. But anyways, it's one of those decorative fireplaces that has a nice top. It's made of wood and it's pretty cool looking. It has a couple issues. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, that's a good sign. I hear beeping. What happens when we turn it on? We'll turn the thermostat up. Okay. I'm feeling some heat come out of it. That's good. But this whole fire thing isn't showing anything. Usually you'd see like the flames and everything. Let's open this thing up and see if we can't get some flamage coming off of our fire pit. And see what that little noise is, because I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds like something's in the squirrel cage or something. It's not the most quiet unit ever. Alright, with the unit unplugged, let's see if we can take some of these screws off and see what the funk is all about. Gonna put these screws in the bag. Yeah, this thing is supposed to spin, it looks like. There's a little motor right here of some type. I'm gonna turn it on. Definitely getting no response out of this motor right here. We may have to go further down the rabbit hole here. I think this whole thing's got to come out of the case, this wood case. And these have these interesting bits right here. There's the square bits. I've seen these bits before on RV trailers, but I've yet to ever see them on a device that you have to take apart. So let's pull this whole thing out of the case. So when you get a square bit, we'll take these off. Thing comes out of the case. That's cool. There are some screws right here for the motor, it looks like. What about the top? Yes, we can open it on the top. So we are inside of here. We're looking at the guts of this thing. I see the circuit board. This is our fan deal. This right here is your flip over sensor, so if it tips over, it kills the whole deal. Here's what we're gonna do. There's a little plug. I just unplugged it. And this is the old motor. And we're going to replace it with a new motor. And to do that, we're going to have to take off this bracket here. It's held on by two screws. Once we take off these two screws right here, we'll be able to pull this part off. And in theory, well, we might have to take off that side as well, which is in the opposite end. There's a couple screws right there. And in theory, we should be able to pull this whole thing out. These look like this. And just like that, we got the whole enchilada out. Now here is the motor itself, the part number. We're gonna see if we can find something similar to that. It's got a couple of screws right there. You take them out, the whole motor pops out. So to be fair, I already knew that the motor was bad. Why? Because I heard grinding and weird stuff happening and the motor wasn't spinning. And then it just stopped grinding altogether. So I already knew there was something funky going on with that. So anyways, to prove my theory, I have my multimeter right here. I'm going to set it on ohms mode. We're going to test to see if the winding is any good. Now if the winding's good, this meter should switch from OL to show some sort of a reading. And just like that, we got a motor that's dead in the water. So the good thing is that the parts are available. I ordered the parts. It should be here tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm looking at this. It's pretty dirty. Maybe we'll clean it. Just gonna give a little spray. Microfiber towel. Oh yeah, that's already coming out really nice. Look at that. Oh, it's gonna be so shiny. Just gonna make it shine that much more when we go and actually reinstall it and use it, so that's great. It is the next day. I'm still wearing the same Christmas ugly sweater. Why not? Let's just keep the theme going here. I got the part. It literally just showed up right now from the Amazon. We're gonna open it up, we're gonna analyze it, we're gonna check it out. Well, I'll be damned. That looks like it could be it right there. The RPM is 15/18 revolutions per minute. It's about the same for this one as well. This is 4 watts. This one's about, it's like 3.7 watts. So it's a little more wattage, but it shouldn't be a problem. Let's get this thing rigged up here. But I think what we gotta do first is we need to swap the pigtail on it, because this right here is the pigtail that goes into the connector that's underneath the fireplace thing. And instead of having to solder and do all that and crimp, let's just put a new pigtail on there, hook it in, send it up there, and it's just gonna be great. So we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna solder this. We're gonna put on our shrink tubing. It fits on that perfectly like that. Love it. Another little piece of shrink tubing. We'll put onto the other wire. We're gonna clip this right here. Done. Plug in our soldering gun. Got the new one right here. We'll trim these wires up just a little bit because they don't need to be that long. Okay. That's out of the way. The iron is at about 700 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps me hold the wires in place just so I can solder it. Okay, so I'm gonna put a couple ends on here like this. We're gonna go whoop and whoop. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Put another end on here. On here. Okay. Just put the solder on there. That's a good connection right there. See if this one will slide over without a problem. Yes, it will. We'll get our lighter and then we'll melt the heat shrink, so that one will be done. Cool. You don't have to make a total career out of it, but that one's done. Great. Moving on to the last one. Okay. Just like that, we got a strong connection. Hopefully we'll get lucky and it will slide over it. Yes, it will. Perfect. We'll put a little heat on it like this. Great, that one's done. And then just to button it all together, put this one over it too. The soldering portion is done of this job. Now, here's the fun part. We gotta take these screws out, and according to this one's on the top. There's 2 screws on each, 2 holes on each side. So we're gonna go for the upper screws, and this is where we will reinstall it just like so. We'll go for the top screws right there because that's how the original was. And then we're gonna pull this cotter pin. Oh, let's see. Yeah, got it. This back in like so. For these, they had a screw, but they also had a lock nut that goes on there. It's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. Perfect. Now we can put this guy in here like this. There's a little hole in the actual shaft for it to line up. We put our cotter pin in. I think it's ready to install. Let's go put it inside of there. Now we have this guy right here, and we're gonna plug into the plug that's in here. That's plugged in. We'll do up these wires so they look nice and they're not just all hanging anywhere, because if you have hanging wires, it's gonna affect the fire effect on this thing, so we don't want that. We want it to look as clean as possible. And now when you're putting this back in, you need to get this into the other bore right here. So you gotta gotta work it in there like that. Okay, good. It's in that bore already. And then we need our screws, which are in the bag. Okay, we got 1 screw in, and this only had 2 screws in it, holding in there. It has room for 4 more, but I think they just wanted to cut costs, maybe? I don't know. Let's give it a test, and then we will clean up the wire, and we'll go from there. Alright, let's see if it's gonna be a Merry Christmas, or if it's gonna go up in smoke. I think it's gonna be great. We'll turn the power on. Look at that! It looks beautiful! And we can turn it on high. Look at that effect. Let me turn some lights off here, huh? That looks legit. And I got the back cover off and everything, but my goodness gracious, it's gonna be a Merry Christmas after all. How beautiful is that? This looks fantastic. I can't wait to either use it for Christmas time or sell it one way or another, you know? We gotta put the case all back on it. We gotta put the top on. This squirrel cage is a little noisy. I'm gonna see if I can't put some compressed air in there and blow it out and see if that helps it a little bit. So like a madman, I've been trying to track down the squeak that this thing was making. It was making this type noise, and I went and saw, thought maybe some of the metal was bent a certain way or whatever. Anyways, after poking around and checking things, I couldn't find anything that was rubbing or anything, but there was this little rubber red portion right there. I don't know if you can see that, and I ended up taking just a tiny dab, I mean just a little spray of some white lithium grease, and I put it right there, and also put one on the other side of the shaft as well. And this is after I cleaned everything out with electronic parts cleaner. And again, I just put a tiny dab, not trying to over drench it or anything like that. And it seems like it solved the squeak noise, so that's good. We'll see how long that holds out for. So that's just an update. Now I'm gonna start putting this cabinet back together. It's these little tiny screws. There's 4 of them. Again, it's the super tiny ones. This is all back together now. I'll give it a quick wipe down. Take this. Okay. Little square bits. No screws left in the bag, that's good. Oh my goodness, beautiful. It's nice and quiet. The flames are going the right direction. I love it. This thing is fixed, and I actually really like this thing. This is super nice. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I know I don't have space for it. Look how beautiful that is. You got the effect from the logs that are glowing. Anyways, you guys, I just want to say Merry Christmas to you guys. I wanted to get one video in before the year is up, so this will be it. I appreciate all of you guys out there watching my videos. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I never know what I'm going to work on next. It's so random, and it's great that I can make these videos so that way you have a little more confidence on how to take certain things apart and fix them. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you're excited to see me on the next episode, and we'll see you soon. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Cheers! Woo! Oh, so nice and warm. I'm gonna hang some stockings from here. I'm just gonna put them in. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Cheers.